welcome to the pod where Becca is downing some orange juice. This pod is do not forget your pants. Pants, who needs them? Wait, no, that's the opposite.
I am wearing them today, to be fair.
Yes.
I had to think
I
though.
actually, you know what? Since this pod, I've actually gotten much better at remembering my pants. I'm so off brand.
I'm so on brand. I forget them at the gym all the time.
At the gym, what are you wearing in the gym to forget your pants?
No. I mean, in terms of like, you go to the gym in your gym wear,
Yeah.
and then I have a sauna, and then a shower, and then I forget clean pants, so then I have to go commando to get home.
Yeah, see, I was like, what are you doing in the gym? Like, what are you wearing to the gym to warrant this?
Although, I don't know whether you follow Alona Mar and her sister's podcast, but they were talking about the fact that some of them don't wear pants under their leggings. Or like maybe a thong at a push. And I was like, what? I was like, I'm wearing a full brief. I'm sorry.
Oh, I wear a thong, but only for like sports. So, because I'm lifting, and actually, that's no excuse, is it? Honestly, I've gotten to the stage of the gym where, I'm not, it doesn't bother me anymore.
I give zero fucks.
Yeah. Although I would not feel comfortable going pantless.
Oh yeah, no, because then that's like the legging is having to be washed immediately.
And I've
Effectively,
seen too many
sweat.
videos of people doing a squat or something and like a leggings split.
Oh my god, is it Letitia, the Big Brother? Have you seen that one?
I have not seen that one.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! It's like it's from yesteryear because I am an elder, but it's from Big Brother's Big Mouth with like Rylan, and then this, I mean, D-list celebrity, I suppose. She was in like the Valleys, which was like a take on Geordie Shore. It
I
was
did
based
watch
in
the
Wales.
Valleys when I
Well,
was
there we
very
go.
young, but I should not have watched it for my age. But then I saw them all getting like sheep tattoos on their vaginas, and I was
Yes.
like that's fun for them. Because I was,
So her
yeah, one of them.
and she's literally in a zip-up dress at the back, and then she started twerking to camera, and it split open. It is maybe one of the funniest videos I've ever seen.
It's like, in Bridget Jones where she like goes down the fireman's like pole and
Yeah,
like they focus on just her butt. Like the only worst thing that could happen in that moment is for things to split, right?
yeah,
If I'm doing squats in the gym, I don't want to be thinking everything will be on like it's one layer to the world that
yeah,
I don't need that for.
yeah. Exactly. But if you're wearing a thong, then your ass is out anyway. So,
Yeah, true,
but
but it's cheek, isn't it? It's cheek.
it's cheek.
It's
You
just
fucking knows
cheek.
it's cheek.
Like, don't get me wrong, I'll have different standards when it comes to swimwear. Like, I
Yeah,
can't, like, I don't think I'd ever be able to do the whole, like, thong swimwear thing.
yeah. No.
But then then whatever swimming costume that would be, it would not be a swimming costume, because my swimming costumes are swimming costumes, because I can actually do the distance in them.
I don't know though, because is that extra fabric over butt a movement restrictive? Well, no, I suppose because you'd be kicking really
How much
weird.
ass?
How much
How much
ass
ass
is
do you
helping?
have?
I don't know.
Maybe, because I mean, there are swimming costumes out there that are designed for people with bigger busts. I haven't seen a representation for. I mean, but then I guess you can get like higher rise. There are some that are like explicitly like, are they mid rise, high rise type hip? And I guess I think for the sport we do,
Uh-huh.
I end up just naturally always going for like a mid rise because that's just what's available for my size and for the sport I do and the kind of back I would need. It's
Yeah. But I suppose the next question is, how are you doing?
You know what? I'm feeling good, and it's probably because I am on the other side of illness. Although,
Rub it in, please.
so yesterday I went for like an initial swim because it was my first swim in over a week, and I'm testing out these goggles at the moment, and they were leaking like mad. Every length and I've got all the footage I have of filming the review for these goggles is every time I get to the end of a lane, I go like that, and it's like Niagara Falls going out. So there's that. So I'm glad it was just it was an easy, like, not even in my plan, but it was just the kind of thing that's like, let's get back to used to being in the water to see how we do, and just to be like, reassure myself I can move again. Because I didn't have a chest infection, but for some reason, like, coming back from this illness feels quite hard this time. It doesn't always. Sometimes I come back and it's like I've got energy again. I'm like, yeah. But this is one of those illnesses that I fear might stay with me a little longer than I wanted to, because I did a proper training swim this morning. It was a speed endurance session. And honestly, like, I tried a gel. I don't usually do gels. This one had caffeine in, because I thought, okay, I might need the extra oomph today. Want to make sure I'm fueled for it. Had my normal protein yogurt. And not only was it super busy, usually Mondays are quite nice and quiet. Today was not, but it was really tough. And like, at one bit, I had to just do my normal cruising speed, which before Christmas was like 3 kilometers an hour, which was nice and fast. Like, that was the fastest, like, 1 hour. Yeah, to be able to do that as my cruise pace, I'm like, yes, I feel like I'm already starting to slow down, because that was when I was getting faster, ready for a 100 by 100s event. And now it's getting ready to, gear up for some of my longer swims. But also, if I have to do 1 kilometer and I'm not constantly pushing, I'm having to train for boredom again. So I'm getting quite bored. But I find that's where a lot of my creativity, like, comes out. Lots of new ideas come out. And so when I'm excited about stuff, I'm like, yeah, let's go for a swim, and I'll have some great ideas. I'm having to, like, come out and start jotting everything down on my phone, because otherwise I will forget it.
You need to get a whiteboard, not just for your splits and what you're doing, but then, creative idea number 1, creative idea number 2.
Exactly. I'm like, let's get this in. So,
Love
yes, feel good about getting back to training though, and glad that I can do so. But yeah,
that. I,
wanting to.
I hear that post-cold training in a pool is hard. I mean, you could just about, the gym's okay, and I'm pretty sure I caught whatever this rubbish is from the gym. They're just, because you can train if you're ill, and then nobody cleans their equipment. There you go. There's a bit better. But when you're in a pool, the breathing, for me anyway, even if I'm fully functional, it's like, it's hard. So when you're clogged up or don't have some of your system working, the thought of swimming right now.
Yeah, I mean, I came out because I wanted to make sure, like, I had the whole of the week off. I was feeling quite a bit better by Friday, but I was like, I'm not going to be able to swim today. I was out on Saturday, thought Sunday morning I'll do a nice easy 1K just to relax. I can then go to the little sauna afterwards or something, have a proper, make a little thing of it. But yeah, today I came out and I was having to blow my nose loads, because I was like, where's all this come from? The depths of my sinuses, and it's all just coming out. But I also like to think that it's good that I'm ill now, because sometimes I'm like, yeah, I'm building up my immunity. So then when it comes to my actual events, I'm going to be right as rain. I'm not going to get ill, touch all the wood I can to make sure it's not going to happen. And yeah, because that's my worst nightmare, to come up to a proper big event and then be like, oh, I'm horrifically ill right now. I can't swim 30 kilometers, and I've paid all this money. I've made all these plans. So, but yeah, otherwise not too bad. Not too bad. I went to the National Outdoor Expo on Saturday.
Of course you did.
Yeah, and there were some really great speakers. So I went to see Dr. Heather Massey, and she was talking about, like, cold water and whether it's like kill or cure. And honestly, there was some great research. So I was, like, really impressed. Unfortunately, we were there on the Saturday. There were more sort of open water sort of talks on the Sunday. But it didn't feel like there was quite the same, like, big brand representation there as there has been in the past. So I'm not sure whether I would go again unless if I was explicitly, like, doing something there. But certainly I was kind of thinking there's almost a gap here for a proper swimming expo, like an open water swimming expo, to be able to really get together, like, coaches and people in the industry to really build up more partnerships and work together, because it feels like could be a really good space for that, but it's kind of just become a place where people can go and buy stuff, which isn't quite what, I wanted to go there for. Although I
Yeah.
obviously did buy stuff because I love a good shop.
Especially if it's swim coded.
I paid for a whole load of like talk gels and hydration drink sachets because I've seen some people use their stuff, really want to test it, and they've got some really novel flavors. So there's cherry bakewell, which
Oh,
I love. I'm a big fan of a cherry bakewell. There was caramel latte. I tried that one this morning.
oh my god.
Quite sweet, but then the sweetness doesn't necessarily sit with you, which I think is a good thing.
And are you eating this gel like a froob? Or like how are
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
Oh my
But
god.
when I'm doing it, I'm actually testing it for like, if I was throwing this in the water, can I open it? And the ripping is fine, but when I tried to use my teeth, which is, if I'm all wet, I'd probably have to use, I couldn't do it. So it might not quite be the right thing for me, unless if I get, because there's some companies that do like squidgy flasks to be able to have a gel, but you have to get the gel in there. So some of them have like a powder that you have to mix in with water to make the gel in the first place. So there's potential there, but I think, honestly, I've always used sports drinks in the water. I feel like gels are really good for before or after. I'm not necessarily a gel during person, so
Yeah, Michael doesn't like a gel. We did too many gels one ultra and it just didn't do
I
his
hear
tummy very well.
I was going to say I hear so much negativity about people's stomachs. So I'm going through thinking about my swims now up until when I am doing some of these events, and I'm thinking all about how I'm testing in those swim events.
Yeah, people don't think about that, do they? They go, yeah, you've got to test the nutrition before you actually do it, or
Yeah, because I'm like, I think particularly for some events where, because there's loads of shorter events where you don't necessarily get proper nutrition during, or it's just what you carry. So I prefer being able to test what I can have before, what I'm having during, what I'm
yeah.
having after, just because I want to see what's going to do well for me, and what has worked for me in the past isn't working for me right now. So I want to just make sure I've actually got that dialed in, and I'm doing the same with goggles, doing the same with swimming costumes, like all the elements I can do within a reasonable budget, because I don't have unlimited money to just go, these are the best of the best, I'm going to try these. But certainly trying to essentially dial down to what I really need to use, and then have that serve me for the whole of the summer.
Yeah. I think, well,
It's got
you
brain
should,
power though, for sure.
yeah.
Sometimes the nutrition can be so expensive. Yeah, because I've also got like my own carb powder. Not that I've made, I've bought the carb powder. Just me milling my carbs.
With the mortar, what's it called? Is it a mortar and bowl?
Pestle,
Yeah.
water and pestle. Yeah. Oh, look at me, like, and concoctions, me around like a cauldron, just all.
Oh, look, here comes Adele making her own carb powder. Fucking hell. Have you, it's like, well, yesterday I was watching a documentary called Bigorexia, all about steroids in bodybuilders.
Okay, yeah.
And this guy who injects, what was it called? It's basically oil into his arms.
Is it
Um,
olive oil? Because I have seen people inject, or like the results of people injecting
it's
olive
like,
oil.
no, it's called something. It's called like Zinthol, or I'm going to get it wrong. But
Mm.
anyway, he decided he would make his own. So he was now making his own oil and injecting it into his arms. And it was like, what?
It doesn't look
What?
good either. It just makes certain parts of your body look bigger, but not in a way that shows that it's muscle. Wow.
Yeah, it was yeah, oh my God. I mean, the documentary wasn't great, but it, like, you just felt for all these people who had extreme body dysmorphia, who were like
Mm.
huge. And then this one guy, I mean, I'm really getting off the point here, but this one guy, he was like, he's a massive bodybuilder, one of the biggest, or if not the biggest in the world. And he was worried that he was going to look small on camera. So like was completely like covered up. And they said, parts of him they didn't film because he was conscious of how his body looked. And he's also like injecting mega steroids
Oh
and
yeah.
and we were like Googling them all at the end to be like, is that person still alive? Is that person still alive? Like how dangerous it is and how it enlarges all your organs at the same time, and enlarged heart and blah. So yeah,
Yeah.
I digress.
Yeah. It's so unhealthy. And I mean, because I take creatine, and I think there's sometimes a bit of a,
So
I
do I.
say It's literally, it's on my desk, so I can remember to take it.
Do you just take it in water, or what you do?
I just, when I'm having my breakfast, because
You put it in
usually
porridge?
I will finish up at the gym or the swimming pool, I'll come home, make my breakfast, and then come upstairs and eat my breakfast at my desk. And I think because usually I have because I take vitamin D, I take high strength vitamin D. So I make sure I've got at least one source of fatty goodness in my food. So if I'm doing if I'm being really fancy, it would be scrambled egg on toast with half an avocado. But if I also got my oat breakfast, it will be like my oats with protein, like a scoop of birthday flavored protein powder, milk. I'll then top that off with a banana, chia seeds, and some walnuts, which will provide the fatty oils necessary
Walnuts.
for good absorption of vitamin D. And then whilst I'm here, I then take out my creatine ready to take. But these tablets, now viewers at home, you'll have to look at this. They are huge. I actually have to snap these in half because
They're horse tablets.
they are not designed for
Human consumption.
female. Well, I was going to say females, but yeah, I have to actually physically like snap them. So
I
I
don't
take.
know whether I'd be able to do that, mate.
Well, I think next time rather than these, I will be probably getting just powder that I can add to stuff.
The nutrition geek. It's insane. You can try the nutrition geeks one when you come up.
Oh, perfect.
There you go.
But yes, it says 3,000 milligrams per serving, which is essentially like each tablet has 1,000. So sometimes if I haven't taken it for a while, I'll do like a saturation of my body. So I'll be taking 5 a day, which then I snap into essentially 10 halves a day. And then I do, but normally I just have 3. Like this morning I had 3.
Yeah, no, my body doesn't like doing pills.
No, I mean, I can't say I'm the biggest fan either, but
Yeah, I have to take 4 at the end of the day anyway. And I'm like, no.
no.
No. And my ones are tiny. Like, oh, we're going to have to do show and tell now. Where's mine? Because mine are also at my desk. No, as you do.
Yeah.
Da, 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 da. Oh, no, they're not the big one. Da, 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 da. That's one of them. Like, they're not that big. Like, in comparison to probably like pupil. And the other ones are only the little 40 meals.
Yeah.
Because even my magnesium's quite. But at the same time, with the magnesium ones that I take, they're a bit bigger.
Yeah, because you can unscrew those and it's got the powder inside. So there's a bit of leeway, isn't it?
Yeah. So, I mean, we're talking about creatine. Fucking standard.
Yeah.
I can't remember how we got onto this.
No. But women, take your creatine. That's what we should be saying. Because literally, it's so good for you in terms of muscle, but also cognitive abilities too.
Yeah, Bryony put me onto it. Well done, Bryony. I feel like a different human.
I'm not going to lie, I do feel like I see more gains, which is really bad because then I'm like, I shouldn't have more gains because I need to fit into my wedding dress. So I'm like, maybe not. But I'm like, I've got to take it anyway. But regardless,
anyway.
how are you doing? You have been coughing and you are ill. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, I mean, sod's law. It's just the way my body likes to give me. You've seen those memes of like 2026. I would like the abundance package, not the trials and tribulation package. I feel like I'm definitely still in the trials and tribulation. Although I am feeling like I'm feeling better about my nutrition and my food, which is really good. Bryony's really helping me with all of that. And just even like yesterday, having those coping mechanisms of being like, oh God, I really need to do the washing up. So I'm just going to stick some music on and I'm just going to sing my way through it. Because I always find that my breathing gets really affected anyway and day to day. But when I'm clogged up, even more so, I find I hold my breath quite a lot. And then I'm like, oh, well, no wonder you feel dizzy, silly bugger. Because I don't know what I'm like, even that this is going to sound really mental, but even though we are involuntary breathers, it's like you almost, yeah, anyway, it's something to do with stress, PTSD vibes. But singing and just talking helps regulate my breathing more. So yesterday when I had to do a shitload of washing up, I was just singing and blah, blah, blah. And I just kind of caught myself and going, wow, I wouldn't have done this like even a month ago. to try and get me through something. So that felt like a big win.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, I don't like being ill. I feel like I've been ill a lot. And just trying to fight that kind of woe is me, fuck's sake. I don't want to be ill again. I want to be in the gym. I want to be able to go swimming and doing the
Who
thing rather.
is she?
I know, who is she? Who is she?
I totally get it's that whole like I didn't appreciate what it's like to be able to breathe through my nose normally
Oh my God.
when I could, and now I can't, and it's just gone from me. And then you're like, no, I'm going to appreciate just breathing normally so much more now that I'm not ill. And then you
No.
instantly.
And just trying to just plan nice things and do nice things and all that sort of stuff. In terms of swimming, what have I done this week? Have I swum this week? I don't think I've swum this week because I've just been real busy. I was supposed to many times, but it's just one of those things when if I sound like this and I haven't been in water, you know it's going to get 10 times worse if I get in cold water.
Yeah.
Oh God, I can't even think about going in a pool when my sinuses are like this. I think I'd like implode. I'd just be a hot mess.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm feeling all right. Going to Ireland in 2 days' time. I've never been before. Looking forward to the adventure and all the good bits that go with that. I
Are you
just yeah.
able to do a lot of dipping over there or swimming at all?
What's that, my love?
Will you be able to do a lot of dipping or swimming in Ireland?
Oh yeah, there's gonna be lots of that. I mean, 3 times a day, I imagine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This is why I'm like, I need to get rid of this cold. I'm like, vitamin C me up. Vitamin C, all the good stuff. But yeah, it'll be fine. I'm looking forward to just seeing Ireland as well and being like,
Yeah.
oh, and just having that I've never been here before energy. And especially when it's swimming and other people are kind of showing you around because meeting groups and communities as well. It's just, yeah, it's going to be grand.
Yeah. I
But
look
yeah.
forward to hearing all about it, as will the people at home.
Yeah, I'm not telling you nothing. Blow my nose break.
Do do do, blowing your nose. Do do do.
I'm better than I was though yesterday. Oh my God, yesterday. Even though it was like a complete rot day, I played Skyrim for 2 hours. Oh, good. I'm actually getting to grips with this is very niche. I just love it. I think it helps with a busy brain, and you always feel like you have to do something, or you're like, "Oh, well, I could make a trial reel, or I could make this reel, or I could do this, and what do I need to do? And I need to figure out whether all my stuff fits in my bag, and I need to look at my boarding pass, and I need to write a list of what I need to pack." And I'm like, right now, it is Sunday. You need to like, and when I'm gaming, it just completely turns out I'm really bad at it, like really bad at it. But it makes my brain go all like, I don't think about anything.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to be good at your hobbies.
No, I mean,
Like,
on Skyrim yesterday, most of it was just like janning around on my horse. I'm very much like a side quest rather than a main quest girl. So yeah, I was just janning around and just like exploring and finding stuff. It's really cool.
yeah.
So yeah.
It's like when I used to play GTA, but I'd just to drive.
Yeah,
I
right.
wouldn't do anything illegal. I'd just drive normally. It was really bad because I'd have people watching me like, "What on earth are you doing?" And I'm just like, I just because of the time I couldn't drive, so I was like, "Yeah, I'm just driving. This is freedom. I can drive wherever I want."
Oh my God. Are you indicating in GTA like ding, ding,
I don't know
ding?
if you can. I didn't. So
I
it's
don't.
pretty
I've never played GTA, so
oh well, yeah, well, you can't know. And don't get me wrong, obviously, like if you're getting a bit bored, you might drive on a pavement round another car, but it's cool. It's cool.
you say that, but I find it hard. I think it was it came up on I think it was a Trixie Mattel thing recently,
Mhm.
and she was saying like, when I play a game, I still play it like I am that person, so I'm kind of morally still going, oh, I can't do this or I can't do this. Whereas her co-host Katya is just like, no, I'm going around and killing people and doing this, this, and this. It's like just no one cares. It's a game. Why are you doing that? And I'm like that with Skyrim because it's like at the minute I've got a bounty on my head because I accidentally stole some coins from somewhere I wasn't supposed to. And even though it's like a really low bounty, I'm just like, oh my God, I'm gonna get caught by the guard. And you're like, why do I think like this? I just run away. God, yeah. Now I digress.
It is time.
It is
And
time.
like, this is time for cold water hot takes.
You look like Freddie
Because
Mercury like
this
that.
week, I mean, I say unpopular opinions. Again, I feel like we need to rebrand this segment because we are constantly preaching to the choir because obviously our listeners are the best people out there. So this week we're talking about wildlife.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. So a bit of our impact on them and their impact on us because I'm terrified. Because Becca, this came up after something in particular you saw. So I don't know if you want to kick us off.
Yeah. I think also like last week as well. God, well, you would know, Adele, because you were there. We were chatting for so long on the initial record and we had this whole section about wildlife and then thought we both have quite a lot to say about this. And we're getting into those kind of early starts to the seasons. Although if you're in the Northeast, there's wildlife all the time. And it gets to this stage around the change of the season and influencers start to think, what should I start chatting about to promote for this summer period? Usually it's a summer. It's like, let's go and see some seals or let's go and do this. And for those of you who don't know, my background is marine biology. Well, it's not. I haven't trained in it, but I just basically love it. Always wanted to do marine biology and got completely obsessed by all things ocean when I was younger. And then I just wasn't smart enough to do 3 sciences at school. So when I went to university, I volunteered at the National Marine Aquarium until I started working there, basically, and had to learn all the different fish and all the different things and just fell in love with it. Absolutely love it. And then through that kind of fascination, ended up in broadcast telly and wildlife telly. And then the first job I went on was to a seal colony in Yorkshire basically we were following a year-long, so lots of different seasons across the year, obviously. The different coastal areas and wildlife. And while me and this cameraman were there in Yorkshire for 3 days, we were filming with a seal population. And to be able to do that, I had to learn a lot about how you would approach seals and get in contact with the local people and also how not to disturb them, because if a seal is looking at you, you're disturbing it. So it was very much like making sure that us and our tripod arrived before the sun came up so that we were part of the horizon line, making sure that we stayed a good distance away. And during that time anyway, we found an entangled seal that had some rope around its neck. And we had to call BDMLR. And at the time, I didn't know who they were. And they're the British Divers Marine Life Rescue. And they are a nationwide charity organisation that have medics stationed around the country that if there is a cetacean, if there is a marine mammal injured or looks like it might be in distress, you can call a hotline number and then they will alert local medics and whoever's around will be able to go to it. And that's what we did in this scenario where we were filming. And I just thought, when I've got time, that's what I want to do. I want to give back to the sea and the animals I love so much. And then fast forward, after moving up to the north, in the northeast, we have just the biggest wildlife variety. We have grey seals that pup in the winter. We have common seals that pup in the summer. We have minke whales, we have dolphins, we have porpoise, we have other transient life. And it is incredible to see, to witness. But this is when I get passionate about it, because whenever somebody comes to the water, whenever someone is approaching a body of water, regardless of who you are, even I check myself about this too. If you see an animal in that water, are you getting in? Are you going to wait? Are you pursuing an animal that may be feeding in the area? Are they resting in the area? There's all of these little things that go alongside it. And it's a really hard human concept because it's not out of malice. It's out of curiosity. or it's out of a love for something. Like trying to teach a child that a seal is not a sea dog, it is a wild animal, is really hard, because they look so cute. And you're like, yes, I know. But we as humans project this need for getting close and having that personal interaction that we can share with friends, or we don't necessarily always have to show it online, but these things are really hard not to talk about. And this is what I've seen recently on social media. There's been a lot of, even though I completely get it, some seal sanctuaries, some seals are not going to get released back into the wild. They are effectively captive, and they are having interactions with humans that they wouldn't have in the wild. But what isn't happening is the conversation around, this is not a wild animal. This is a captive animal, and let's not normalize that, because effectively the video I'm alluding to is somebody scratching a seal underneath its chin like a dog, and he's closing his eyes and he's loving it. And through my work, so I also volunteer at a SEAL unit up here. It's the Northeast SEAL Triage Unit. So effectively, after BDMLR, pick up a seal and decide that it needs to be uplifted, that it's in distress, that it may have a lot of injury to it, it needs a further assessment, or it might need a holding place to stay for however long before it can be moved on to rehab. It will come to us first for further assessment. And we've seen it in those circumstances where seals start to associate, where they go, that's where the food's coming from. That person's holding a phone. Maybe that's where the food's coming from. And there's all these things that we think are just normal. They're not from a wildlife perspective. But we just think as humans, this is just how it is. Whereas you think the amount of people that stand on the side of a beach and then will be taking photos, you think, is that hindering the way that their own brain is kind of seeing what's a danger, what's not? Like even at the unit that I was working in, some of that came into force of, this was even before we started working there. It's like, you don't want to be taking photos of seals, even for assessment, above them over the pen, because you don't want them to associate a phone with something. You also don't want to, it's so hard to talk about at the same time because you don't want to say the wrong thing either.
Yeah.
But for the seals and our way that we find interaction online, and even AI is creating these now, so they know how popular they are, of these human interactions with animals that are wild, that they just need to have more thought behind it, because some of these videos are so detrimental and so hard. Like, for instance, seals. You've got a seal that may look like a sea dog, but that sea dog has enough bacteria to kill you if it tracks to your heart. There's this thing called seal finger, which you have, if it was to bite you, you'd then have to be on 8-week, 12-week antibiotics because of this particular bacteria that, I don't know too much about it, but it's present in the seal's mouth. They are also really telescopic neck. They might not look like it when they're all tucked up and lovely, but that neck can stretch, and I've seen it. It's insane. The amount of reach a seal can have. The fact when we're up on the beach up here, the main thing we're talking to is people going, could you put your dog on the lead, please? No, my dog's fine. I have to be mindful. And the way I get people involved is to go, your dog is going to get harmed if you don't put it on a lead, because a wild animal is going to bite it and it could kill it. And it's like, that's what it's not about the impact that we're having on that.
Yeah, it's vet bills, not, my dog's going to have a negative impact. I mean, coming from the conservation sector, it's the same with, dogs sometimes off the lead in like woodlands or wetlands, or, areas where there's like a particular wildlife pond. And if a dog goes charging in after like a tennis ball or something, because sometimes you throw them and they go off, and it disrupts the wildlife that has been nurtured in that space, and it can be really disruptive for that. And again, not all dog owners, but for sure there are those instances where it does then disrupt so much good work that people are doing to
Yeah,
keep the wildlife safe.
absolutely. And I think that's kind of I suppose, my hot take. It's quite a controversial one as well, but it's like, you've got to give wildlife space. And it's not only just telling people, this seal's resting. They spend most of their time out of the water on land. They breathe oxygen the same as us. It's just that they have this dive reflex that is able for them to dive and hang around. They're like us, effectively, just got a hell of a lot more blubber. And they would prefer to be just chilling in their bedroom, which is effectively the beach, sleeping on the side and not having somebody in their face with a camera about it.
Yeah.
And it's just having that idea, if a seal is looking at you, you are disturbing it. And even if you're 200 meters away and a seal's looking at you, doesn't mean it can't hear you. Because that's kind of the thing that we found out with the wildlife filming too. The hearing on these animals is sensational. And you disturb a seal colony, you can have a stampede and they'll kill the younger ones. And then it's just, there's so many different elements to it. And just even the fact that if you see a seal pup or a seal on the side, it's just making sure that you can contact BDMLR, because they also don't uplift. They sometimes, if it's a very busy area, put a cordon up so people are aware, to talk to people. It's also an educational point to be able to talk to people about things. And yeah, I'm very much sat on my high horse at this point, which is probably all our listeners going, oh God. And that's the thing. It's like, when you talk about safety, when you talk about just checking yourself, the amount of near fights I've had online because people are like, well, they're there, so I can go and look at them. There's one, I think it's Donnygook, which is like a seal grounds that they come up and they're right next to a fence that's been put up. And people are putting their phones over, taking photos, they're putting it all over TikTok. And I'm just like, I get that they're there, but they are still wild animals. That barrier has been put in place because humans didn't know where the line was. That seal, yes, could move away if it wanted to, but also when they're young, they're very inquisitive. If mum is watching from the water, she can abandon that animal because she's gone, whoa, next to a scary thing with a phone. Not going anywhere near that.
Yeah.
And it's just having that mindful thought. It's not just swimmers, it's paddleboarders, it's boats, it's all sorts. It's going, am I interrupting a natural behaviour? Am I creating something that is going to be an issue for this animal? For instance, fishermen who were feeding a seal off of Roker Pier recently, who were like, yeah, but we're giving it scraps. And it's like, yeah, cool, but it's coming right next to the pier where all the lines are. And then 2 weeks later, you've got an entangled seal with fishing line around its neck.
Yeah, who wants to go to that space because they associate that space with food.
Yeah.
It's the same with, on the other hand, people don't like seagulls, and so people say don't feed the seagulls because they'll keep coming to the area. But it's, the thing is, because they're seen more like a pest because they're after our food, they aren't, people don't want to feed them, don't want them nearby.
Yeah.
So yeah. And it's interesting because obviously that's a really direct, like, we might associate seals with the beach, but we might also associate seagulls, yet we'll have very different responses to them. And so when, like, we were talking about discussing the topic of wildlife, and I was thinking, it's funny because in my world of, swimming, I'm terrified of encountering wildlife in the water. Because most of the time, what I've encountered are jellyfish because I go on sea swims, and the first time I came across them, and the one that has since triggered me to be scared of them, is when I swam around Jersey as a relay with a couple of friends, and they had lots of barrel jellyfish at the time. I didn't see any other jellyfish when I was there, when we were around it, and they were imposing visually because they're very white, very frilly, they could be quite big. And it was like, I was terrified of them. I kept jumping every time I saw one, and my coach was on board and she was like, come on, Adele, you can do this. This isn't, come on, we've got to keep going. Because I only had like 3 1-hour swims in this whole thing. And at one point I actually put my hand in, didn't realise there was a jellyfish there, and accidentally then punched it. And it was only then that I realised, oh, they're not going to actually sting me. It's fine. We're all good, guys. I'm not going to get stung. We did actually see dolphins when we were out there, but I was actually, and it was when somebody else was in the water, but I was terrified because they were probably curious as to what we were doing. But I was also like, I don't want to be anywhere near those things in the water because they're huge and I don't want to get hurt. Dolphins are apparently quite friendly. I don't know if they can respect boundaries because I don't want to get touched by them in the water.
They're bad people. It's been noted.
Exactly. And when I did the Gdynia to Hell swim in Poland, I was warned towards the end about like, oh yeah, there might be a curious seal. And I was like, I don't want curious seals near me. No, thank you.
Usually the size of it. Why is it that the curious ones are always massive as well? Like a tugboat.
Well, so I had no interest in that. Luckily, we didn't see it. I just saw another fuck ton of jellyfish on the way. Moon jellyfish, no less imposing in my mind, but obviously not stinging. But yeah, that's all I saw the whole way. The whole way, apart from the 1 hour that my friend got in with me, nothing. But otherwise, there were jellyfish the whole way. And I have zero interest in having, because again, when I hear about, like last week, we mentioned the cookie cutter sharks.
Yeah.
Or there was someone who, who's bitten by a great white while doing the Catalina Channel. And actually, yeah, I have zero interest in wildlife. I like to see it. In fact, I shared a reel on my stories last night, and it was like some sort of like screaming sound, and it's like jellyfish when you see them in person or you see them up close, and then it's like a really nice like tranquil sound for when you can appreciate because jellyfish are beautiful from far away where they cannot touch me. They are gorgeous. Again, as you say, like it's there's an entitled thing there. I don't want a negative impact on me. But obviously there's, you don't want to be negatively impacting them either because they're in their home. And I don't think people do thoroughly understand the negative impact it can have, particularly when you think of like, if Punch, the monkey, I don't know if you've seen about Punch the monkey online, where he's then been abandoned by his mother and she's like, wants nothing to do with him, and he's got his own little soft toy and he loves it and he's holding on to it like it's his mother. But that's the kind of thing that seals have to go to rehab for. That's the kind of thing that people.
So we have to make seal mums. So basically right, I know. So in some, especially if they're really young, when they've been abandoned as well, they will get grazes around their muzzle, around here, from where they've been trying to basically get milk from rocks. Like they're just nuzzling and trying to drink milk from a rock because that's like, oh, that's mum. And then sometimes with common seals, you can put them together because then they're not savage like greys. But in the most part, it's giving a seal mum. So it's effectively like a wetsuit that's like full of other wetsuits that is consistent with the shape of a seal. And some of them, like they're hugging them or they'll be on them, and you think that shouldn't happen. It should be out in the wild with their mum, and yeah, it's hard. But that's the sort of thing, it's like, because even me, like I don't think I fully realised the impact until I sat on that beach filming them. Because you'd have people trying to scale down the cliffs. And yeah, everyone, and I think this is where we kind of get caught up in all of it, is because people go, well, that's not me. That's not me. I'm not a bad person. And it's like, it's not about that. If you pay to go to, for instance, if you pay to go to a zoo, do you expect to see the animals because you've paid? It's that sort of vibe of, if you go down to the beach today and you see an animal that's interacting or whatnot, if an animal approaches you, completely different. But trying to talk about this concept of, if you are getting in the water to have an interaction, is that already impacting a wild animal space? I don't have the answer, because it's like, I've been on seal swimming safaris where, when they're managed correctly, they're great, because effectively you're staying by the boat, you're not going too far. If the seals are curious, they're coming towards you. Whereas other times, even when you have that talk on the boat, you'll get swimmers who will get in the water and will be straight over to rocks. And the rocks is the safe space that seals can get out of. And you think, if you are swimming towards a seal,
Yeah.
that's another thing that you're trying to get that interaction. You're trying to get something that you've paid for. So yeah, it's a hard thing. And I have to check myself, especially when I see dolphins in the water or porpoise or anything like that.
Yeah.
And you go, "Ooh, I shouldn't be getting in the water now." Because even I've got to the beach, my local beach here at Roker, and we've been there for a swim. And I've got to the side of water and there's a pod of dolphins in,
Yeah.
and gone, well, I would be in already, but actually me waiting on the side is the best thing to do.
Yeah.
But would other people see it in the same way? Would they go, well, actually, even though I've come here for something, do I stop it because something else is happening? And reacting to the water in the state you find it is it's a hard and really hard thing to navigate. And I just want to put that idea out there that it's not a case of being wrong or being right or not wanting to look a certain way. It's just what impact you might have on the life of an animal that has no say in the matter.
Yeah. You know what? This is making me think of trees.
Love
And I
trees.
shall I'll explain. So, in my previous job, one of the things we thought about quite a bit, and it's more of like an ethical question because you want to raise awareness of the issue that trees are facing to try and save them. But on the other hand, if they are that popular and people are paying to go into sites, so I didn't work for the National Trust, but like the National Trust is a really great example here because you pay your fee, you want to go in. And one of the biggest issues that particularly ancient trees, so we're talking trees that are like over 400 years old for the most part. There's one called the Ankerwick yew, which is rumoured, it's been estimated about 2,000 to 2,500 years old. So we're talking one of the oldest trees in the UK. And obviously, people want to go right next to it. But one of the biggest issues for particularly ancient trees is soil compaction. And it's compaction of the root protection area, which is about a 15-metre buffer around it.
Oh, wow.
If you think like, oh, well, there's that balance, isn't it? You love it, you want to protect it, you want to go and appreciate it. But if you are the person that wants to appreciate it, you also probably want to go, it's like that balance, isn't it, of loving it and loving to the point where it is damaging in a way.
Yeah. Well, it's like, God, this is like going all the way back now. But I did a BBC Two documentary with Chris Packham and met his partner at the time. I don't know whether they're together still or what. But anyway, Charlotte Corney, she runs Isle of Wight Zoo, or did at the time. And she was bringing in this idea that you wouldn't pay for entry to the zoo. You would pay for tiger feed, or you would pay for bird feed, or for a keeper for this amount of time, and all this sort of stuff. So there wasn't just one set fee that you just paid and gained entry, because then that apparently took out that idea that you were entitled to something, and would also make you care more because you are giving something to an animal to help its habituation and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So that was always something that I love, but you can't really change, like with trees or with that would be hard to impact, to be like, here's some fertilizer that they don't need, but
Yeah,
sure.
here's a little bit of water, but you
Yeah.
don't want to give it too much at the same time either. Like there isn't really a tree comparison, but that is really interesting from a behavioral psychology perspective.
Yeah.
Isn't it? That idea of like, okay, you're paying for that experience. And obviously there are lots of zoos that do that as well now as like the general entry you can pay extra to do to have certain experiences along the way. But yeah, and I think particularly as swimmers, we want to be appreciative of the outdoors. I mean, I'm making assumptions here. I know that, some people enjoy swimming, again, mostly for the mental health benefits, but you can't take away that appreciation for the outdoors when we are deliberately being outside, appreciating or being around wildlife, because that is kind of what makes it so magical in the process. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's also being really fair. Because I mean, also, there's so many times as well where I can imagine for swimmers it's quite sudden. They didn't realise there was something nearby.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, especially when most of our water is murky. So you're just there going, oh, what have I done there? Oh, bumped into something.
Mm.
I mean, I've had those sorts of experiences at Clevedon, which we spoke to about before, when I've had a conger eel go through my legs. Oh my God. And you're just like, what was that? Oh my God. Ah! So you don't always necessarily want these interactions either.
Sorry, for those of you who are listening, you can't see my face aghast.
Aghast.
Because I swim at Clevedon Marine Lake, and it's where I go probably most as an outdoor venue.
But it wasn't night. They were more active. It was, it was just that's the vibe. It was just, I've
Watch
had
me
one.
brightness of the day. I will be there.
Yeah, I've had one use me as a moving coral as well, and I've swum with one that's been underneath, which has been quite cool.
Yeah.
I love a conger eel. I'm obsessed. But they're so cool. I mean, this will turn into a whole marine biology thing, so I'm not going to. But yeah, oh God, yeah. I think just even asking yourself what impact you are having in an environment helps, whether it's positive or negative. Just getting into that idea of risk assessment and thinking about how we're interacting. It's not going to be perfect. We don't have to do the right thing all the time. Well, I'd prefer it if you did, but I'm just saying it's not that it's right or wrong. It's just that we're learning to try to not impact more. And I think that's what gets lost in translation when you see these social media videos that are treating these animals like dogs and not really explaining why that's happening or the damaging effect that will have on, an 8-year-old kid watching that for the first time. And then when they see a resting seal because they live in a seal abundant area, they go up to a seal and it tries to bite its hand off. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
it's just being mindful about what we're talking about, mindful how we're sharing things, and not being afraid to put our neck on the line to maybe get some of that hate sometimes because I think that's what I get scared of when I talk about wildlife. Because I've had so many altercations with people who then just go, well, it was in the water already, or "Meh," and you're like, well, I can actively see in your video that you're taking strokes towards that dolphin. So don't tell me you're not chasing it, because if you're heading towards it, you're chasing it. But anyway, I won't get, we'll start again. We'll go around in circles. But yeah, I think we just be better people. We just want to be better people, kinder to the environment, and do our bit as swimmers.
So if there was one thing people could go away and do, what would you suggest? Is there like an Instagram account people could follow for more information on this that is informed, where they can also get their cuteness fix? Or is there a particular
Not
website where
really.
you'd be like, if you want to find out more?
I think your best bet is to go to BDMLR, which is British Divers Marine Life Rescue. That's also a way to get involved and give back to an area that you love so much, especially if you're beach orientated, but they also do inland stuff too. But at a very grassroots base level is litter picking. I cannot tell you enough how much just even doing a litter pick off the beach when you are swimming, that is, even if you're at a lake inland, that's still going to affect wildlife in or around that lake. It's still going to affect the water. It can affect somebody somewhere. Like things really silly, like flying rings with holes in. So a lot of people you'll see, especially at the beach, will be rings with holes in for dogs. They are notorious for decapitating seals because a seal pup will get caught in one and then they grow exponentially quickly. So don't buy flying rings for your dogs. That's another thing you can't to try not to do, because animals get caught in them. But yeah, I would say the base level thing is just go and do a litter pick, because you don't know what's going to get entangled in it. It doesn't matter what size it is. It could hurt something along the way, whether it's, those little earbud sticks. I caught a couple of those in a rock pool at the weekend. That sort of thing could get trapped in a gill, any type of line, rope, anything with a hole in it. Something could swim through it, get stuck, and not necessarily have the means to get out of it. So from a very base level, just litter picking, just pick up, even if it's not yours. That is the takeaway. And it's that lovely saying of leave it better, leave somewhere better than you found it, whether it was yours or not.
Could not agree more.
Yeah.
I feel like we should now move on to the changing room council. Please proceed.
Okay, so this one came in a few weeks ago now. And me and my friend actually got into a bit of a debate about this one. So I thought it would be a good one to talk about again and see if you have a different take on it or what you think. So I had a bit of a rivalry with a 50-something-year-old guy in the lane next to me for a few months a while back, where I'd never really know what he'd come out with because he would comment literally anything that came to his mind the second I touched the wall to finish any rep I was doing. 2 months after swimming Windermere during a speed set where I was just doing 50s, he told me I have no stamina. Then the week after, when I was doing a pacing set and doing faster 100s and 200s, he tried to keep up with me and then told me to slow down because he was trying to observe my stroke underwater and couldn't do that because I was swimming too fast. To then another week later, commenting on me being out of breath and telling me I looked tired. It went on for a while, and after me ignoring him for long enough, he gave up. I'd really like to know what you two would say about this and whether you would do anything differently.
That person has so much more patience than I have. I would have probably made comments back to him. Like, I hate this. Because whilst I recognise that this person was able to ignore it and have that resilience and patience to do so, not everyone does. And for some people, it would put them off actively from wanting to swim, which is why I'm finding this difficult because if it's not you, it could be someone else. And whilst that can be really difficult for you to take action, I feel like something would need to be said, even if you are then just like, I would definitely go ahead and tell a lifeguard that you're being essentially harassed. I mean, trying to observe your stroke underwater, just so weird. Just so weird. It's giving like, oh, I want to smell your toes vibes. Let me catch up with you. I want to watch your feet. Like, that's the
I
vibe.
love that you had I want to smell your toes in the bank. That's what I...
Like that's where it's going for me because I'm like the fact it would just be any comment, like you could not do anything right from this man's perspective. And I don't know if this person had like knew, because I mean it was a 50 something, maybe they knew them so they were able to then at least be like, I know it's Tom. He's just a bit like, I don't want to engage with that. I know it's Tom. Don't need to talk to him. He's just a bit weird and will constantly say things. Again, because if you're there, it's your own workout. What I do with a lot of these is I compare. If situation was in the gym, like, oh, slow down, I want to watch your squat form, love. No, you're doing a separate workout. It's weird. So that is where my mind goes. I'm like, if this was in another scenario, is this okay? It's just a lane next to them. It's not necessarily in a swim club where they've explicitly been, they've been doing demonstrations of a swim and therefore they're going to show it off like, oh, I'm really good at butterfly and everyone else is watching me to see how I do. No, it's just a normal lane swim. If you want to get better at your stroke, you go to a coach. Like it frustrates me because I've seen this person, I've heard this person in the pool. What do you think? Yeah, because I'm just.
But that's literally, for me, I see this as if you went with a friend together,
Yeah.
that's the vibe. Like, I feel like this person is being quite over familiar and
Yeah.
I would be very uncomfortable. And you never know what that experience of that person is, especially, oh my God, the watching the stroke under the water comment is the one that makes me really uncomfortable and just makes, as you say, like, sounds like she would turn around and say, can I smell your toes, or the gusset of your swimsuit. So I'm just a bit like,
if a swimsuit of yours goes missing and there's a guy like this, you know exactly.
This is the problem. And then, like, me and my friend, like, we'd gone back and like we'd spoken about this dilemma that she had. And for me, I am very coded into, this is a man feeling intimidated by somebody swimming in the pool and taking it out and making somebody feel uncomfortable, which this person didn't feel uncomfortable. They were just like, it was just what happened. But this is the sort of shit that people have to deal with in the pool. Mostly women. Like,
Well,
if I was trying to be like, if this was a woman and she said this to me and did all this, I would still be like, this is creepy. Like, what are you doing? Go and find a coach yourself. Stop harassing me. Like, it would be that thing of, am I just not saying something because he's a man, or am I not saying something because I just want an easy life? Because there are people that want that, and there are times where I feel so uncomfortable that I just want it to go away. Like, I've had those instances a lot, and as women, we experience it far more, and it's horrific. And this is, I feel, one of those scenarios where I'd be like, can you leave me alone, please? And you, that this man's response would be, I'm just having a laugh. I'm just having a laugh. You're like, well, I don't, if this was genuinely happening to me, that's how I would feel. And
yeah,
that's how you've made me feel,
yo-yo.
sir.
Yeah, it's a complete yo-yo between each of the perspectives. You know, at one point you have no stamina, but then he can't keep up, and then he wants to look at your stroke. As if I was genuinely like, actually, I think their stroke is quite good. They're going loads faster than I am, and I really want to get into it. To get to the end of the lane, you say, sorry, can I just ask you, like, you're really fast, and can you like talk me through your stroke? And if you've got time, then sure. But I feel like the fact it's like, I'm gonna watch your stroke. I want to watch it in action.
Yeah. Could you slow down, even though it's your training session?
Yeah. And again, as you say, I absolutely recognize that people want an easy life. And like, the thing is, for me, if I don't say something in those moments, it eats away at me for ages. Because I'm like, why didn't I say something? But then when I have done, it does then impact me quite negatively sometimes. Like, I remember one time there was a man, because where I swim, there's an indoor pool and an outdoor pool, and in the indoor pool, it's got wider lanes. And I was to the side, I was like in the middle of one of the lanes because I was the only person in any lane, but the other area was sort of rammed, and I was in the fast lane because I'm generally faster than a lot of the people who go to the pool I go to. And he joined, like, I looked at the lane because I always look, because people don't necessarily always want to be like, oh, sorry, it's all right if I join you. So I looked at the lane, nobody else was in it, and I swam down the middle. And then this guy came in who had been in this other area, decided to join me in this lane when there were other lanes available, completely free, and was also going at a pace, but he was quite a big man who decided to swim really close to me. And
No.
I literally, like, not only did I then, because he swam the opposite direction, not only was I able to then move over, like, because I stopped initially because I was like, there's a man really close to me. I don't know what's just happened there. And he wasn't in the lane before. And my head was down because that's the proper swimming stroke. Sorry, I'm getting on a horse. I'm getting on my high
You
horse.
get on yours now, Adele.
Yeah, and I then caught up to him, overtook him, of course, still fast in the lanes, watch me overtaking your granddad. Caught up to him and he did stop, and then he decided to move over, and I was like, I found that was quite intimidating because I had looked up and nobody was in the lane, and then I swam down it and you decided to come in and swim very close to me, and I did not feel comfortable in that moment. And he was like, well, why weren't you looking forward? Why didn't you see me? And he decided to then get on the defensive, and he was like, that's not how you swim. And I was like, yes, that is how you swim. And consequently, I now always swim in the outdoor lanes because he doesn't swim there. Because I felt so uncomfortable in that moment, which isn't the right way to go about it. But I was also like, I don't feel like I should always have to stand up for myself. So I feel like there is a role here for lifeguards as well. Having been a lifeguard, and had to manage scenarios where people are having like full-on arguments about like what lane you should be in. There's always nuance when it comes to these things, and obviously I've been a swimmer, so I've had far too much time to think about any and all of them. But certainly saying something about the fact that, he's obviously intimidated by her speed. Shut up. Not
Yeah.
comment on other people's swimming. Because if I'm swimming, my mind's not on other swimmers. As long as I'm not swimming into people and other people aren't swimming into me, I'm all right.
Yeah. And it's just that whole, can we just all be kind to each other, please, and think about
Yeah.
it? But this is going to sound really man-hatey, but It's one of those things. Because I feel sometimes when you say these things, especially to men, I've said them to women and they've took them badly too, but when you say something sometimes to these type of men, they do go on the defensive, like the one you've experienced, and then it just gets even more uncomfortable. And then you're questioning your reason for feeling uncomfortable, and then you're going over it again. And then a swim that is supposed to be an enjoyable has taken over the rest of your day. Maybe it's taken over the rest of your week. Maybe then you start worrying about when you go, what time is he going to be there? Is he going to be in the changing room when I'm changing? Is this like, these are all valid things to think about that make people feel uncomfortable. And if you don't say anything in those moments, it can grow into something bigger for somebody else. And I mean, that's not that's not up to me to say who's what and what, because I've been that person who hasn't said anything because I want an easy life too. But the older and uglier I get, the more outspoken and, quite frankly, pissed off I get, because I don't want to be thinking about Clive, who's telling me which way to swim and that he's swimming underneath me and doing all this BS. And yeah, there's just no need for it, lads. Can we all just get along? We know you're a triathlete and that you want those quick times. You can swim really, really fast, but we are just slower and want to be in the right lane. All right. Fuck off. Thank you.
We concur. Fuck off.
That's the ruling. Fuck off. And if you didn't get that, fuck all the way off.
Yes. No, that's going to stay with me, that one. That's so bad.
What's it now? The watery abyss.
We're taking steps slowly through the canopy, and we emerge to a clearing. There's a waterfall. It is indeed the watery abyss. It is time to shed your sins, and all will be forgiven. So this is the part of the pod where you send us your confessions to commit to the abyss and free yourself of judgment and any watery guilt.
Do you want to go first or shall I go first?
You are more than welcome to go first.
First one we've got in here. I have never washed my swimming costume. Ever?
I'd be more concerned about like contamination in outdoor swimming pools, but I mean, I think there's the nuance here of, do you at least rinse it out?
Yeah, is it? I've never put it in the washing machine, but I've given it a quick rinse with a little bit of liquid washing, or what we're doing. I don't know.
There's a nuance there that's needed, but otherwise, for just the swimming pool, I don't think that's a problem.
Yeah, I don't wash my costume.
I don't either.
Because it's just chlorine. It's just going to be chlorined again.
That's literally what the chlorine does. Like, why do I even shower after a swim? I should be sparkling at that point.
I rinse. I like rinse it a little bit if I remember when it's still wet. But if they've got one of those drying things, do you know the things I mean, in the bin?
The spinny things.
Yeah, then I don't rinse it and I'm putting it straight back on.
See, my pool, there's shower cubicles, which makes it sound bougie. It's like I have a cubicle, and so I'll take my swimming costume off and it will sit at the bottom of the shower and be what I like to think rinsed off. That's it done. That does the job. Otherwise, yeah, when I go swimming, it does not go off at all. Right, so should we do the next one?
Yeah, your turn. Where are we?
Okay, so sometimes I swim badly, so people won't ask me to lane split.
This is like weaponized incompetence.
It is, isn't it? And you know what? To an extent, I respect it. But I mean, to like swim that badly. How badly are they swimming?
But also, how badly are you affecting your training swims as well?
Yeah, true. I mean, I guess it's like they might not be training for anything. They might just be enjoying a swim.
Like the Miranda Hart version of swimming. Like, you know, when she tells you like it's more fun if you sing a song but sing it badly and out of tune than actually be in tune. So is this person getting more enjoyment from swimming badly because it's funny and they're getting some sort of humorous... Anyway, we're not here to judge, you know?
No judgment.
No judgment. And then we've got another one.
Yes.
I once got my foot stuck in a tangle of pondweed, panicked, and grabbed a complete stranger's leg for support. Mate, I
Darling
mean,
pressure.
we've all been there. I mean, not technically with pondweed, but accidentally grabbed onto somebody else in a fleet of...
Limbs are just going everywhere on the water. Yeah, limbs are just everywhere. It's, a free-for-all.
It's part of the deal at this point.
Yeah.
So yeah, do not worry. There's no weeds in the abyss. It all just goes straight down to the bottom.
It is a very clean abyss.
Yeah. What are we doing? Are we tying like a concrete something onto it, or some sort of organic matter, probably, to send it down, to weigh it down, or does the abyss kind of envelop?
Oh, the abyss just takes it. The abyss is wanting.
So it's almost got like a gravitational pull, almost like a dive weight. That's what
Yeah. I was trying to think of a comparison that I've seen in a film, but I'm actually wondering if I'm like it's the Mandela effect. I assume this has happened and it may not have. But like you put a body in and it just sinks down to the bottom. And I'm wondering if it's like Lord of the Rings or something, or
in Star Wars in that swamp with Luke Skywalker's X-Wing.
Yeah. It might be that.
That was niche.
Yes, that was niche. Well, we are here at the end of the pod.
I can't believe episode 6.
I know.
Done. Complete.
I know. The fun doesn't stop. Let us know if you want us involved in talking. We talk well. We can keep on going. So if ever you want to, you can hire us, parties, general yappings. We can do
general
it.
Yappings. Yeah.
Yeah.
We do the talky. And then we do the talky very greaty for eventy.
Talk great, yes.
Talk great.
Okay. Please do also send us in your dilemmas and confessions. Maybe you just want a bit of like a check-in on whether or not you did the right thing, and a bit of vindication if you think you did the right thing and the other person did not, like the other person today being told to just off they fuck,
Yes, you can follow us on all the usuals, YouTubes, TikToks, your Instagrams. I do sound like a grandma when I explain the Instagram and the TikToks.
You did refer to
episode 6, done and dusted. Go and find your stuff. And
right.
we'll see you on the next one. Bye!